Hello again, it's me, John Eady, back again to do a second video for you. Couple of things. First off, there's been a few comments about the my voice not being synced to the camera. Apologies for that. It's nothing I can really do about that. The camera records faster than the software will capture the video, so it looks like it's out of sync, which it is. But I thought it would be better for you to see somebody speaking rather than just hear the voice. Second thing, if you're a Mac user, what we're about to do is still useful to you, albeit I'll do a separate video using Mac OS X, so you'll be able to see how we do what we're about to do throughout this demo in a few moments, and upload that. So, but it still wouldn't be a waste of time for you to watch this. But in the last video that I did, I spoke to you about the difference between Office 365 and Office the product, and I spoke to you about the idea and the concept of SharePoint, and about trying to work together so that we can all share files on SharePoint, and that we should be using that product as opposed to OneDrive or Google Drive or anything like that. And I said that I'd be back to show you how you can follow a team site, or look at the team site, the SharePoint team site, so that you can see the data that you all use and also synchronize. Now, synchronizing effectively means up in the cloud with Microsoft Office 365, you've got SharePoint and all your data that sits on SharePoint. You need a copy of that data, or it's wise to have a copy of that data on your local machine as well, so on your laptop or on your PC. And there's a couple of reasons for doing that, really. One is for speed. It's much quicker to access your local machine than it would be to use the internet and access data. But the second reason is, if the internet for whatever reason isn't available or isn't there at that particular time, you might be on a plane, you might be on a train, then you can carry on working. So you can just access your local machine with all the files that are synced down to your local machine. I think most people are kind of used to iCloud, and what iCloud does with your pictures is rather similar to that. It'll upload your, except for its company data, upload your company data up into the cloud, but it's syncing it to your local device as well. So how do you do that? So quite simple. If you open up your browser, before we do that, this is my file explorer. You'll see, just keep an eye, well, don't keep an eye, but just make note of what this all says, sort of down here. There is no access to anything to do with Hosmark at all, because that will change as I go through the demo. So there's nothing, just remember there's nothing to do with Hosmark there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into Office 365. I'm using Google Chrome, which is my browser. You might be using Internet Explorer, anything. You might be using Mozilla Firefox. There's lots of browsers out there. And when I'm there, I'm going to log in. I'm using Claire's account. And so the first thing that I need to do is I need to pop off to SharePoint. I can access SharePoint from here or from here. So I'm going to access SharePoint from here. And what you'll notice in SharePoint, you will notice that there is an area called Hosmark. If it hurries up and get there, Hosmark Marketing Services, and it will say Services Limited Team Site. Just hover over there. It's also here. It's in recent. In fact, it will be probably here. You'll see that somewhere when you go into SharePoint. And the first thing that I'm going to do is, when I've clicked on that particular area, so all I've done there is I just clicked on Hosmark here. Sorry, the phone call coming in. I'll just kill that. When you've done that, effectively all you've got to do is click on follow, and it will say now following this site. Okay, once you've got that, everything's good, and the only thing you need to do after that, once you've clicked that, is just click sync, and then it's going to prompt you to log in. Now, I'm sorry, this is where it gets a little bit confusing, and there's nothing that I can do about this. Microsoft have taken a suite of products. So we know about Office as a suite of product. You probably know what Skype is. Now, Microsoft purchased Skype a few years ago. There's a software called Yammer that you might have seen on the start page of Office 365. These are all products that Microsoft have either made, like Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc., is something which they've created themselves, they've designed themselves, they've developed themselves. But they've also gone out and purchased a lot of organisations as well in order to get a suite of products to work together. And Microsoft are kind of not quite got their act together yet, and the things don't mesh together particularly well. And this is a perfect example of it, really. So SharePoint needs to work with OneDrive in order to sync, and unfortunately they've got SharePoint, which is like OneDrive, it's not OneDrive, and then they've got OneDrive for Business and they've got OneDrive Personal. Now it uses OneDrive for Business to sync SharePoint files. So I'm not going to give you much more information on that because I don't want to confuse you, but effectively you need to open Microsoft OneDrive. But you'll have to trust me that this is opening, even though it doesn't say so, OneDrive for Business. Now you'll need to use your Hosmark login, and once you're there and hit sign in, it takes a few seconds, it's going quite slow for me today. Pop in my password. Now I want you to watch down here, you'll see I've got a grey cloud here, it'll say OneDrive not signed in. Alright, I've got a grey cloud. If it's ever grey, it should be blue when I'm signed in. If it's ever grey, it means you're not signed in. Okay, so once I sign in, hopefully if you keep an eye on this area down here, it will turn blue just below that arrow there. Keep an eye on there as it's signing in. Keep an eye on that as I hit next. And I tell it I want to sync all files and folders in Hospitality Marketing Services team site. And then this will, trust me, turn blue very soon. There you go. Now what you're going to start to see is you're going to start to see a cog start to whiz round as it starts to sync all of the data that's in the cloud and bring it down onto my local machine. So as I open up this area here, which is just my Explorer, you will see Hospitality Marketing Services here as my share, okay? And I'm desperately trying to see where it's going to sync up. It's up to date, so it's already synced everything up. So let me give you another example, right? So if I open up John Test, it's just a document that's in my SharePoint share, which is in my Hospitality Marketing Services team site. Now keep an eye on this blue little arrow here. You see it going there? So as I type this is another test, and I would like to see the arrow. And as I hit save, you should see, keep an eye down here as I hit save. As I hit that, it's now starting to sync everything up, and it'll eventually get it, and it's gone back to blue. That means it's up to date. That's all I want you to keep an eye on. If this cloud here is grey, it means you're not signed in. If it's blue, it means you're signed in and you're up to date. And if it's got that little arrow, that little whirly thing, it means it's in the process of a sync. That's all I want you to understand from the video. If any of you have any issues with this video and the contents of this video, please drop me a line. I'm just going to type this again. And I'll help you out. I'll help you do to get that synced up. In order to do that, I need you to install some software, and it's called TeamViewer. And I'm going to go back to my main page. So if I just click down there, that's what the software looks like. You may already have it in place, but if you don't, you just go to teamviewer.com. And once you're there, I want you to just download free for friends and family. If you click that and install that bit of software, what I'll then do is I'll then come back to you with, and my camera's just gone, let's get my camera back. I'll come back to you, I'll be able to take over your machine and help you install and get everything synced up. But that's it for now. Hope everything goes well with the syncing up. Just please go ahead and do that whenever you can. If the amount of data in that share in this area here looks different, and it will do to this at the moment, because we're constructing the folder view don't worry about it. Just go ahead and sync it up, because we've just been doing a few tests between Leslie and myself over the last few days. But good luck with getting that work done, and let me know if you have any problems. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers now. Bye.